Hey, what's up everybody? This is the Review Man, and today I'm going to bring to you my top 10 list, top 10 Mama's Family episodes. Now, if you don't know what Mama's Family is, it's about this woman named Thelma Harper living with her son, Vent Harper, who's a locksmith, his airhead of a wife, Naomi Harper, who works down at a grocery store. Their friend that lives across the street, Iola Boylan, has been Thelma's friend forever. There's she had a daughter named Eunice, a daughter named Ellen, a sister named Fran who died, a two grandchildren named Sonia and Buzz, which is his Vinton's son, a grandson named Bubba, which is Eunice's son, and that's about it. Oh yeah, and she had, there's like a bunch of other people that, extras that appear in this show. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you the top 10 Mama's Family episodes. Number 10 is Family Feud. Family Feud is this game show where two families come together and answer questions that they gotta give the top 10 answers. No, the top answers on the board. And in this episode, Mama, Vinton, Naomi, I think Buzz, Sonia, and I think Ellen was in this show. Ellen was in this episode to win a bunch of money. And they were going against this real snooty, stuck-up family. And so they were almost had it at, but on the last question. Oh yeah, this episode also stars the late Richard Dawson. Yeah, I know what yeah, the late Richard Dawson, who was like a real, who liked to kiss up on all ladies. So anyway, they were on the last question, and the question was, name something you wind up. And Thelma was like, Richard, I'm gonna have to go with a letter. Richard was like, a letter? Yeah. And then the answer wasn't up there. And then was like, Mama, where'd you get a letter from? Well, your aunt always said I gotta go and wind up this letter. And that cost them the money. So anyway, that was Family Feud. On with number 9. Number 9 is Mama Sees Red. They did, let's see. Vinton gets talks with this person from the State Department, and then they decide to host this Russian woman as part of a cleaning program. And so they try to get the Russian name. I forgot what her name was, but they try to get her accustomed to some ways of America. And so they give her a makeover and all this other stuff. She's like, I'm staying. And then she gets the craziness of the Harper family by playing the $10 million pyramid hosted by the late Dick Clark. But in this one, Bubba, he plays the host. So anyway, they're playing. She gives this answer, name something you take to the beach. And the Russian's giving all these hints. And Thelma's playing with her. She's like, okay, I give up. What is it? She says, power tools. Power tools? Who takes power tools to the beach? Everybody. And at the end, she says, dealing with the Harpers for a couple of days, I can take Russia. So, on with number 7. Did I say number 7? I meant number 8. Number 8 is Mama's Medicine Show, which Thelma gets her mother's recipe for Wonder Tonic, which is just nothing but some cough syrup and vanilla extract, which is mostly booze. And so she gets everybody. She starts selling all this money, all this Wonder Tonic, which is mostly booze, getting everybody they come in contact with, because Vince sells it to a friend that gets drunk and is playing with a lift at the Jiffy Lube. She gives it to the Church Ladies League, which is like a responsible for most of the stuff that goes on at the church. And Bubba gives it to his swim team, which they're supposed to be getting in the water and they're just swimming like little kids. And so at the end, she gets to the church ladies league and gets all them drunk and gets them. Viola and her gets drunk, and then she's also elected to the church ladies league. So it works out, but with one heck of a hangover. And with that win, here's number 7. Number 7 is the Big Wheel. The Big Wheel has to deal with lotto fever. Everybody in Raytown, which is where they live at, has lotto fever. And Thelma, or Mama, she gets lotto fever. She picks just the 6 lucky numbers, which turns out to be her 3 kids' birthdays. And so and that leads to her and Iola having this big old fight. And then then they say, "Oh, didn't you hear about that guy? He had lotto fever and all." And then started killing everybody, then killing himself. He's just like, "Well, Thelma, I want you to have the ticket." And so they go on the Big Wheel, which is like, it doubles the jackpot winnings. Anywhere from $100 to $1,000 doubled. And so she spins the wheel, they spin the wheel, and Thelma's like, yes, I'm gonna win $2,000. And then here, all of a sudden, oh yeah, I also forgot to mention one thing. The Big Wheel is determined, the double or single the amount is determined by this chicken that's pecking feed out of a double or single thing. And then then it turns out to be double, Thelma won, but she only won $200, and she's like, "Well, next time," Vinton says, "well, next time, I hope that chicken pecks double for me." And Thelma's like, "There ain't gonna be a next time." Bubba said, "Why you say that?" She said, "What the heck do you think you're eating?" And with that one, here's number 6. Number 6 is Mama Mania. Naomi's old friend is a wrestler that came to Raytown. And so Thelma gets into, then they go to this show, then they go to this wrestling event. Thelma gets into the ring. She said she knocks the person out with a bucket. Either a bucket or a purse. And so she gets into the ring, and then she starts wrestling. And then they start wrestling these 2 big old ones. I think they call them Maroon Women or something like that. You call them Maroon Women. And yeah. And then Naomi and Thelma start working together to beat these women. And then they end up winning the match at the end of the show. And that's pretty much it for Mama Mania. Number 5. Number 5 is Harper versus Harper. And Harper versus Harper is about Naomi's letting Thelma use her Vinton letting his mom use the vacuum, and then it burns like this big old hole in the floor, in the carpet. And so they go to like this court, like the people's court type thing, or any type of court. And then that caused like this big old commotion because everybody in the courtroom, Fran, which is Thelma's sister, Buzz, Sonia, Vint, everybody has something to do with this court. And then he said, and they're blurting out all this crap in the courtroom. And he says, "Okay, the judge says, I'm gonna charge you both to pay your own fee, which is $100 and $100. And he says, "Now I'm gonna go get me a beer. And Vinton, if you have a brain in your head, you'll join me." And so they both have to pay the fine. And they both make up at the end of the show, at the end of the episode. And then they're both still arguing. And Vinton's like, "If you two don't shut up, I'm gonna come back in here after I get my beer, and I'm gonna tie both your tongues together." And so they both make up at the end of the episode. And with that being said, here's number 4. Number 4 is called Buck Private Bubba. And Buck Private Bubba is about Vinton's old army buddy, old army sergeant, coming back, and then they go out for a night out of town and they take Bubba to his girlfriend's house. After his girlfriend breaks up with him, Bubba joins the army. But Iola finds a loophole in this by looking at the army's pamphlet and saying anybody with a criminal background record or on parole cannot leave the state. And so Thelma goes down to the army place and she saves Bubba from being, and then she also saves the guy's job from losing his job because all of his papers weren't in order and all this other stuff. And Bubba breaks up, and in this episode, Bubba breaks up with his girlfriend at the beginning and makes up with her at the end. And so everybody has a good night, and then they all watch some TV and have some pie. I think it was cherry pie. I don't know. And with that being said, here's number 3. Number 3 is Country Club. Ellen, Thelma's daughter, she gets invited to the country club by Mayor Tutweller, which is the mayor of Raytown, and which is like this big old snooty place, and they have some fun Harper style. Thelma makes friends with the mayor, gets a beer, and tells some jokes and stuff like that. And Ellen's like, oh my god, what are they doing here? And so, yeah. She tells some stories that everybody just finds a laugh right at. And everything works out in the end. She's still part of the country club, and then they're asked to come back again. And Naomi and Vinton, they're like, oh, honey, we can go have some fun with rich people, yeah. Because Naomi is a airhead checker at a grocery store. They think she's a bit hoity-toity. Which she's not. She just don't have anything up here. But yeah, that was Country Club. And next is number 2. Number 2 is Mama Gets a Car. Mama Gets a Car is Thelma just got her license in the last episode. And in this one, she says, you know what, I got a license, so I'm going to get me a car. And she goes to this dealership of this guy that Vinton knew whenever he was a kid, which turns out to be a lemon dealership. And so, if you don't know what a lemon is, it's sort of like a broke down for nothing car that somebody's just trying to hype up. Like most dealerships nowadays. No, I'm just kidding. And so, he puts her in the car. She's driving the car down the road. They start driving down the road. And then all of a sudden, everything just starts breaking down. She goes back to the dealership. And she said, oh yeah, and the guy at the dealership is played by Fred Willard. If you don't know Fred Willard, he's a talented actor. A bit off color, but he's talented. And so, she goes back up to the dealership, saves this other guy from buying the whole lot. And at the end of the episode, he's like, but sir, you told me that you would buy all these cars if I gave her money back. I lied. Like most dealerships do nowadays. Our little secret. And so at the end of it, the film was like, if I bypass everybody that Naomi had something to do with romantically, I'm going to have to buy this car in another state. And that was all 9 top 10 Mama's Family episodes. And without further ado, here is number 1. Number 1 is one of my personal favorite episodes. That's why it's number 1 on this list. Number 1 is Mama Gets a Job. Mama Gets a Job. She works at this travel agency called the Raytown Travel Agency, and this one's number 1 just for this only reason. Every time she answers the phone, she says, it's a great day here at Raytown Travel Agency. Can I help you? Can I help you? Because she's trying to build it up. You gotta watch the episode to find out. And he's like, and then just 2 people come in, they said, we would like to arrange a trip to Tahiti. Tahiti, you say? Yeah. And then what makes this one also funny, one of my favorite episodes, is that every time the phone rings, it's Vint, Naomi, Sonia, Buzz, all of them calling her with problems. And there's like, can we just get on with it? And then someone said, "Oh, get over it. We all know the free trivia trying to scavenge off your kids." And then they're like, then that causes Stone to get fired at the end of the episode. And then she says, well, well, the next person has one thing I don't have. No living relatives. And that's sort of like a running joke in all the Mama's Family episodes. She finds something to gripe about at the end of it. And that's it, you guys. That was my top 10 Mama's Family episodes. And Mama's Family is a good show, not like most of the crap on TV nowadays. So anyway, you guys, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and I will see y'all guys next time. Peace.